All right, welcome to Chapter 10, Vocabulary, and we're going to work through this. I know this is a hard chapter. We're learning the third declension, so we'll make some notes along the way about vocab and what we're looking for with that. So let's start here. We are at the end of Chapter 10. Our first vocabulary word is hagios. Hagios. Notice that hagios, which is an adjective that means holy, we see it here listed hagios, hagia, and hagion. So it's an adjective that is holy, feminine, neuter. It can also be as a plural noun, like hagioi is saints. So you'll see this in a lot of the epistles where it'll be addressed to the hagioi, hoi hagioi, the saints in Ephesus or something like that. So our next vocabulary word is a. Say a. A means if. This is not to be confused with the second person form of a me. This is the word that means if. Watch the accents. It oftentimes will crass us with aon, which introduces a dependent clause, but a is our word here, a. All right. It sometimes gets combined with may, so a may. Say a may, except or if not. Except is a little bit of an idiomatic, literally if not. Other times you can just say except or if not, either way. But sometimes two Greek words will come together to form an idiomatic phrase in English. So in this case, except, a may. All right, another vocabulary word that we saw this week in the chapter is haste. Say haste, mia, and hen. This is the number one. Haste, mia, hen. This is the masculine, feminine, and neuter form. All numbers are adjectives. So the number one, the number two, the number three, they're all adjectives because they usually attach to another noun or to a noun that gives it gender. But the number one, haste, mia, hen. So there we go. All right. Our next word is a day, which means now or already. A day. And then here's our first third declension noun in our vocabulary. Well, it's not our first, but it's our first one for this chapter. Say anima. Anima. Anima is a mot stem. It means name or reputation. Anima, all ma or nouns like pneuma or rhema or soma, that ma, the stem of anima is actually animat. And you can see that, and this is again a reminder of why we have our genitive singular ending attached after the noun. So noun, genitive in the nominative singular, genitive singular ending, and then the gender of the noun, in this case ta, which tells us that it's neuter. One thing that we need to understand and kind of realize, and is helpful, is that all mot stem nouns are neuter, all mot stem. So pneumat, pneumatos is neuter. Rhema is a mot stem and it is neuter. Soma, which is a mot stem, is also neuter. So you can see here the stem, but we get the stem not just because Mounce includes it here, but because we have the genitive singular ending that shows us that the stem actually ends in a tau. All right. Going along with haste mia hen is udes. Udemia, uden. Say udes. Udes means no one, none, or nothing, and it is masculine, feminine, or neuter. Okay, and it declines just like haste. So udes, udemia, uden. All right, another adjective that we've seen is pas, pasa, pan. And we saw how that declines down because the stem of pas is pant. So it's pas, pantas, panti, panta. And then we have pan, pantas, panti, pan. And the feminine is a first declension, so it declines 3, 3, 1, 3, 3, third declension, first declension, third declension. And pont is our stem for in the third declension for pas and pon. So it occurs quite a bit. Look at how many times it happens in the New Testament, over 1,200 times. And so this is a paradigm that you'll want to take a look at. And the paradigm for this you can take a look at on page 86 in your textbook. So that's helpful. I mentioned this, that you can memorize, or not memorize it, but you can remember it through the Carol of the Bells. So pas, pas, upon, pas, pas, upon. All right, that's enough singing for me. All right, another preposition that we see in this chapter is peri. Peri. Peri occurs in the genitive, and it means concerning or about. And peri in the accusative means around, like a perimeter. Or circumcision is peritome, to cut around. So there's a happy image for you for circumcision. All right, our next vocabulary word is sarx. Sarx. The stem of, sarx means flesh or body. The stem of sarx ends in a kappa, sark. And in the nominative singular, we see, third declension, that sigma couples with that kappa to form a kasi. We can see the stem of sarx in its genitive singular ending, sarkos. And then because we don't really know what this, we wouldn't be able to tell just by the lexical form what the gender is, we look at the article that follows this, which is he, which tells us that sarx is feminine. All right. Next preposition here, soon. Soon in the dative means with. Soon occurs in the dative and it means with. So there you go. You'll oftentimes see prepositions attached to the beginning of verbs. So soon ago, soon means to gather together, or soon erkamai is to go together or with, something like that. To be a joint heir is to be a soon kleranamas. And so there you have soon that goes with, means with or together. All right, here's another noun, soma. Soma means body. And soma, like we said before, is a mot stem. You can see the mot stem here. Or you can see this tau atas for the genitive singular ending. And like all mot stem nouns, it is neuter. All right, let's keep going. Teknon. Teknon. Teknon is a Teknon is a second declension noun. It is neuter, and here's our neuter here. We can see the genitive singular form here. It means child or descendant. Teknon. Teknon is different than huios. Huios typically means son. Teknon is more of a generic word for child or descendant. Okay. And then we have tis and ti, which is an interrogative, meaning who, what, or which, or why. Tis or ti. And then we have tis and ti down here, which means someone or something. The difference is the interrogative has an accent, and this other version is simply meaning someone has no accent on it. So here we are. We're at the total word count in the New Testament that you can recognize now is up here, which is roughly 56% of the words and the occurrences of words in the New Testament. So just a reminder here, it is a two-front war that we are fighting here. One front is the grammar, and there's a lot of grammar, and there's endings and various forms that show up. But don't forget your vocabulary, and that's why these videos are here, to keep you up to date on your vocabulary. Keep your flashcards going, get your vocabulary down. Remember that eventually when you do see a word on an exam or in the text, your best bet is to have that word memorized so you know what it says. Even if you memorize all the grammatical forms, you still have to know what the words mean. So you got a shot at it if you know what it means, but you don't have a shot at it if you don't know what it means. So get your vocabulary down. All right, thanks. That's chapter 10, vocab, and we'll see you on the next chapter.